So here now we will deal with the triad of the three terms about which students usually remain confused. And these are the standard deviation, standard error, and standard error of mean. Now to initially make the things very simple, standard error and standard error of the mean are one thing. I don't know why at some places in stats and in biostats it's written as standard error, and at some places it is written as standard error of the mean, and the conclusion is it is just to confuse the students, as if the biostat is not already confusing. So the standard error and the standard error of the mean are one and the same thing, and it is these both of these terms are used to define just one thing. And what is that one thing? What is standard error or standard error of mean? It is the standard deviation of the means. How much the means they differ from each other and how much they deviate from the means of all the mean. If we have a population and we take if the same number of samples from that population again and again, it's not always that their means will be equal. So how much difference is there among the means of the samples? Take same number of samples taken from the same population. Standard deviation of these means is called the standard error or the standard error of the mean. And what is the standard deviation? We all know that standard deviation is how much the individual value of the data it deviates from the mean, from the sample mean. Standard deviation, we all know that formula of the standard deviation is sum of individual value of the data set minus x bar, that is mean of the our sample, square divided by n minus 1, n minus 1 when the sample is less than 30, more than 30 then we can take as n, and its square root. This is the standard deviation. Then what is the formula of standard error or the standard error of the mean? Standard error or the standard of error of the mean, its formula is this standard deviation divided by square root of our sample size. This is the formula of the standard error or the standard error of the mean. Now I think all of you should be clear. The standard deviation is the how much the individual value in the data it deviates from the mean, while the standard error or the standard error of the mean means the standard deviation of the means, and its formula is standard deviation divided by the square root of n, while this is the standardized formula of the standard deviation. And not to forget, standard deviation of the sample is S, while the standard deviation of the population is sigma. X bar is the mean of the sample, while the mu is the mean of population.